what's going on? It's the NOC, the Nerds of Color. Babinka Boys in the house. I'm your boy, Kuya P, a.k.a. Patrick Michael Strange, and back with another NOC exclusive. We've been bringing it to you ever since, I came back in 2020. I came back with my man, Kirk Yee, a.k.a. Aztec. I gave you the stand-up guy, the stand-up comedian, Loy Lee, and coming soon as well to the channel, we have Jae Shin, amazing rapper that I found out about recently, and another cat who you probably see on the screen right now. He's probably on my left or right. It's Skype. We can't do this in person right now, so we're doing it virtually. I got my guy, SOP, Son of Paper. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm just super hyped to be on, and it's good. Representing SF.
All right. San Fran, baby. I'm a Niners fan, cat. Y'all, if y'all been watching the channel, y'all know how hard I go for my Niners. Are you a Niners fan, bro?
I am a Niners fan. I'm not a big football fan, but it's got to be the Niners. And my first ever football game was a Niners game with my grandpa. So
okay, because I know there's still love in Oakland for the Raiders, obviously. You know what I'm saying, even though they've kind of moved around, but that's good to know. So before we get started, as usual with our NOC exclusive interviews, I want to do a nerd check, something new, something I wanted to check, because this is the Nerds of Color. What nerddom do our cats got that we're bringing on here? Are they really nerds? So my man lucked out. SOP, you lucked out, bro. I'm not going to have my questions that I'm going to hit these cats over the head with. So let's do a nerd check. What are you into? Sci-fi, movies? What are you? What's your nerddom about, man?
I mean, I definitely grew up on sci-fi, particularly Star Wars. My dad actually almost named me Luke.
Dope.
But my mom just sniffed that out and realized what it was, so that was avoided. And my actual name, Kyle, is actually a Jedi in a book. Not even in he didn't even make it to the movies, but he's just like a side character.
All right.
So my dad, snuck it in. In terms of, for me, the biggest thing was that I grew up playing chess.
Wow,
and,
awesome.
Got to a very high level. I won the national championship in 5th grade, the state tournament a couple of times of California. Okay. And I currently teach chess on the side to pay the music bills.
Dope. All right, you passed the nerd check. So since he passed the nerd check, I'm going to give you, for you people that aren't really indoctrinated to my man SOP, he's banging. He's a great up-and-coming rapper. Let me throw some clips at you real quick, and then we'll come up off of that with some conversation with the SOP, Son of Paper, y'all.
Do it.
Yo, I ain't nothing but a stargaze, wishing you the rockets in my hard place. Hate the way they feeling when we part ways. Dreaming is a part-time, scheming is a full grind. I don't say science scientifically, but if it's an epiphany, voices freaking ringing in my head like head of Tiffany's. Slow down, young shinny down the chimney. Man with the plan, with some goddamn adjectives. 21 years, chugging beers, am I masculine? I've been out here all day in my protein. Jack on the track, that's the code name. You be in and out quick, watch you go away. I've been eating my whole life at the buffet. I've been wishing for a gift like a souffle. You could make my Christmas list like I'm Buble. Go ahead, turn it up to 10, get the food stamp. Soju bottles over ice. No one looking at a price tag, yeah. Easy peasy like a bike. Bumping speakers and a mic stand, yeah. Soju bottles over ice. No one looking at a price tag, yeah. Easy peasy like a bike. Bumping speakers and a mic stand, yeah.
All right. That is SOP. I know you want to go rush to all the streaming networks to download all the tracks. I know I did. But hold off. We're going to talk to SOP right now. Yo, SOP, how you living, bro? Once again.
I'm living real well. I'm living at home. I just graduated from college. I just graduated from Wesleyan University and did a virtual stage walk. And now we're back at home, just kind of planning to move out. I was gonna go to LA and try to make my career happen down there. But it doesn't make a ton of sense to move while the industry's a little bit frozen right now. So just adapting my plans, doing lots of virtual shows, making lots of new songs from a home studio. So, I mean, I can't complain too much. I mean, the air is rough. There's Corona, but other than that, like, I'm really blessed to have a really supportive family, and I can see some friends here and there. So that's good.
Amazing. That's awesome. I definitely love that your spirits are up, because it's been a depressing year for a lot of us. I know myself included. This would have been number 363 of interviews this year for me. But you're like number 4 or 5 right now, because again, it's been hard. It's been hard to create. So I want to take it back before you're at where you're at now with your career to the very beginning. Growing up, born and raised. Let's start from the seed, man. When you came out your mother's stomach. Let's go there. Let's get the history on you.
Let's do it.
Your American experience.
Absolutely. So on my mom's side, my mom was also born and raised in SF. My mom is she's actually 4th generation Chinese American.
Oh.
And my dad's side, my dad is like 1st gen Korean American. So he was born in Seoul. They came through Canada and then to New York, and he grew up in New York. He went to like Stuyvesant and stuff, and then met my mom in college. And she said, "I'm not living on the East Coast," and he immediately packed his bags, and that's how I came to be in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And when I was learning, because one of the things I got very interested in was the name you decided to use as a rapper.
Yes.
Let's go into a little explanation of that. Tell the folks that aren't familiar with it how you came to choose your name, because I think it's amazing what you're doing with what you did to come up with the name. It's beautiful. Please explain.
For sure. It was to put it in time perspective. It was my senior year of high school. I had already gotten into college, and I was just getting ready to go. And I had worked on tracks from that junior year and senior year, and was putting together my first EP. And I was like, what do I call it? What am I going to call myself? At that time, I was going by the name The Calligraphist, I believe. So it was, I don't know, like the names that I've been rocking with just didn't feel like it was what I wanted to grow into. Didn't feel like it really represented what I was trying to put out. So I did some brainstorming and just texted a couple really close friends of mine, like, how does this sound? Like does this work? Like I wanted to somehow embody being Asian, but I didn't want it to sound cheap or like sound very like tokenizing. And so I landed on I was trying to make it work with the concept or phenomena of paper sons, which my family has history with. So my great grandma, she came to this country as a paper daughter, and for those who don't know in the audience, a paper daughter, a paper son, is someone that came during the Chinese Exclusion Act period, which was 1882 through 1965, and is someone that came illegally and had to get around Chinese quotas. So major props to her, and so the name is really about honoring her and honoring that part of that story of my family's American experience. So.
Beautiful. I love it, man. I love that, because then it provokes people to kind of check up on that and learn why. And I love when you can hit cats in the head indirectly with some knowledge.
Exactly.
So that's
I think
beautiful.
it's subtle enough too that like it doesn't have, they don't necessarily ask right away. Mm-hmm. But it can, once they like discover like it sounds cool, it sort of sounds like a general rapper name, but it just packs that like that little undercut, I guess.
So love it. So I kind of rushed things a little bit, but I really wanted to get there because I thought it would go along, which it does with your history. So let's talk about early days of the Calligraphist. What got you into hip hop? So you moved out from the East Coast to the West Coast. So growing up in San Fran and discovering music and discovering hip hop. Let's talk about that.
For sure. So yeah, growing up in San Francisco, I think the first rapper I discovered was Eminem. And I think just a friend put me onto it, and I mean, Bay Area has always been big in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And middle school, so that was like 2011 for me, 2012, and so it was basically Eminem, and Kanye West, and I mean there was a lot of pop, honestly, like pop rap kind of emerging. I think that was around the time where Far East movement really popped off.
Yeah, yeah.
And which is just such a trip that they're still around and making moves in the industry. Actually, like they actually listened to Soju Over Ice and they told me they liked it.
Dope.
So that's super dope. And it's kind of funny that that I grew up listening to them and not even realizing how significant them blowing up was at the time, because I was just a kid, right? And their songs were playing at our middle school dances and stuff. It was just hilarious. So that was kind of, I think sonically that was my introduction to hip hop. And then I would say culturally, and in terms of my own writing raps and getting into poetry, it kind of came. I've always really loved creative writing and found it just like a very natural form for me in terms of expression, in terms of connecting with others. And so my middle school teachers and coaches, even they really encouraged me to do it. Like I grew up in sports a lot too, and they told me.
I saw you were a track runner.
Yeah. But yeah, then and in high school, I think it really blossomed, especially after meeting Watsky, who's a SF rapper, and also just getting lots of studio time at Sunset Youth Services in San Francisco, as well as with Malik of Aquarius, who's kind of an underground hip hop head, and he let me record for hours in his home studio. So that was the kickstart, and that was what propelled me to like really embrace it and feel confident and feel like I had a space and a voice, and then I just performed a crap ton in college, and here I am now.
Dope, love it. So let's talk about, so you fell in love with it. Let's talk about those first bars. How was it putting down your first bars coming into your first track, your first song? Let's talk about that experience.
I mean, I think the first rap I ever wrote was like the song "Apologize" by One Republic, I think.
Yeah.
and like there's like a bridge or something, and then I wrote like a little rap over the bridge where it's just instrumental playing.
Okay.
And it was just about like girls, because like that was my main interest other than school and chess at the time. So
understood.
And so I think a lot of early work came directly from heartbreak, or perceived heartbreak, I guess you could call it. And and that just that's how it got started, and just like rapping over stuff that I didn't have any ownership over, and just putting it out on SoundCloud, or even just showing it to friends. And then eventually I started to take it a little bit more seriously when I realized that the lyrics that I were writing were pretty good, but the recording part still had a lot of work to do. So just getting better at every recording and having people give me feedback was, I think, what really got it started.
Okay. So let's I think Son of Paper was your first self-titled album, right?
Yeah.
First album. Let's talk about putting that together. The first your debut album, if you will.
Definitely. It was essentially recorded during my senior year and during that summer right before college, and I released it on the day I was supposed to to fly to the East Coast. So I went to school back east, and I just wanted it to say who I was, and I wanted to talk about the experience of attending mainly white schools and attending private schools, and just the jabs, the constant microaggressions that I experienced. While at the same time being extremely grounded, and having a really strong family, and also attending space, or being present in spaces kind of like the Presbyterian Church in Chinatown, kind of like Cameron House, which is a faith-based organization that's almost 100% Chinese American. So, and so I guess like those two spaces made me realize there was something wrong with the space that I was in this white space, but also feeling like an outcast in many senses, and being the private school whitewashed Asian kid.
Yeah.
Also being Korean, like that was kind of different. Being a half Korean, half Chinese, also was a question of identity that I was sorting through.
Yeah.
So I think all of that kind of made me naturally think about like, oh, where do I fit in hip hop, or what story do I have to tell?
Definitely. And so that's a perfect segue into, so with that being said, and the stigma being in hip hop and being an Asian American in hip hop, what did your parents think of that? Because it's now something that you've chosen to do as somewhat of a career. If not, because we all have our side hustles too, and to various degrees, until we can be fully blown. I know you really want to go out to LA and do your thing. What do they think of that? Because I know from, a lot of us, I'm Filipino. I'd rather you go to be a doctor or a nurse, and I was pushed that way. But I wanted to get creative. So, but luckily I had great support. Do you have that same? How was it, that interaction with your parents?
Absolutely. I think it was easier with my mom. My mom's always been just super supportive in all of my endeavors. She wasn't tripping when I quit chess, but my dad was for sure. I think that's partially a generational thing.
Yeah.
Just that my mom being here for so long, her really loving to volunteer, and she's just a very compassionate person. And she even has like a really big Facebook page, so she would promote my work when it would come out, and that's how I have my old head fans. and whereas my dad, I think it's been much more of a process and a journey. He just wants me to be happy and financially independent and confident in that realm. And so it's always been a matter of, is there money in it? Where are you going to get that money from it? How long are you going to try to do it? So I think we're at a point where everyone is at peace with it. But at the same time, there is, I would say, like maybe a clock in terms of like, we're not just going to support you endlessly and give you all the money that you need for it. You have to earn it, and you have to support yourself in other ways. So that's kind of where we're at.
I understand how fathers, because my father was kind of the same deal with that, so I feel you on that. But it's a generational thing. But we gonna keep it doing. They're gonna see the love and all that. And then again, it's really like with my own daughter. If that's what she loves, I'm gonna support her through and through. So that's beautiful. Let's talk about the creative process, creating. How do you like sit down and write lines? You got to go to the park. Are you peeping this? What's your process?
Yeah. I think it's honestly been all over the place during quarantine, and it was sort of like, I think I realized, I think it's changing, it's evolving. So I can't give you a perfect what I do currently, but the funny part is that I would always interrupt my schoolwork. So I did fine in school, but there were certain songs that just had to happen, and they were inside of me. Sometimes they were coming out at night, or like or during class or something, and I had to like write it down, or like at least get part of the hook down or something. And so I think just being in school was really interruptive for my musical process and journey. But now that I'm out and have time, I have lots of time, since I can't even do most of the kind of standard jobs. I find that it's really just about making it a habit, and making it just setting time aside for it is the only way to have constant creative output that builds on top of having a healthy lifestyle and being in a healthy headspace. So waiting till 2 or 3 a.m. for inspiration is I let that die back in high school. So yeah, I just kind of treat it like a job, but I also have a lot of fun with it and try to do creative exercises. So sometimes I'll like use just only one word, or like one word that repeats in multiple lines, or I'll rap over a completely different type of beat. So I have a homie that just sends me random YouTube beats, and just to keep me sharp and keep me writing over different types of production. And I've been recently trying to really incorporate singing and writing melodies as well. So that's been kind of like a new challenge that I'm working through as well. Yeah.
All right. I love it. Love it. Some Drake. I see, as an old head, that's like Drake. to me, that's the ultimate guy that's doing a little bit of both. And so
Yeah.
I feel that. That's dope. Let's talk about I really want to get to Soju Over Ice, which is the one that's got me bobbing. But then there's some other tracks. So let's just talk about your catalog up until before we get to Soju Over Ice. What was like one of your very favorite earlier tracks that you dropped?
I think the one that still gets people like going the most at live shows is the song I got called "Sky's the Limit," and it's over Big Pun's "Still Not a Player."
Oh yeah, I peeped that one. Okay, yeah.
That
so
one.
So why did you want to do that track and that Big Pun instrumental on that?
I mean, just the instrumental was like an early example of. I mean, that's the era of hip hop that I really got my start in, and when I really started going deep into hip hop, in terms of just researching it and studying it and listening to all the different eras, like that was the era that was like this just feels so right and feels like it's feeding my soul, So Big Pun, rest in peace, like that instrumental is just like was like the epitome of it, of like, or like the goals, So that instrumental, just the hook immediately came to me, and I think, and even though the recording doesn't sound great because it was recorded back when I was in high school, the live show experience is just so fun because like people are literally like screaming the hook back at me, and it's and my rapper name's in it, so it's like it's just a really dope experience whenever that one comes on.
Okay. Do you have a favorite bar? What's the most favorite couple of bars that you've written?
Ooh, that's pretty hard. I don't know. Like I think I'm sort of like never fully satisfied. So
yeah, I can dig that.
I'm like trying to like, it's like I don't want to like get stuck too much in the past. So I kind of like any song that I'm not like currently actively performing, I try to just like forget about the past songs.
Okay.
But
well,
yeah.
How about then your most difficult, or what was the most difficult bar you've ever spit, or most introspective bar that you've ever spit?
Introspective. There's an interesting one that comes to mind from my first EP, where I'm talking about like it's really like very like visceral, I guess, but also very cute. So I think those are like that's like that's the setting at least that I'm painting this with. But it was like I'm ABC, circle all the above, and in God, put my money where my mouth is. Life is like a marshmallow, better as a brown skin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super old.
Yeah, interesting. I like it. All right.
It's like very like talking about like taking the SATs, thinking about multiple choice selection, thinking about just like being a person of color. I think is an extremely hard thing for the Asian American community to like fully wrap our heads around. So just thinking about race, and that's just kind of like the conflict that I grew up thinking about actively, being in really white spaces. So.
Definitely, and this is a perfect segue that I wanted to get into. So you're a rapper first, I'm sure, but then you're also an Asian American rapper, you know, and I think we should all take part in that. Sometimes people just say, "I want a rapper," but yet, bro, you should also pump that you're an Asian American rapper, because that gives hope because there's not very many of us out there. So let's spotlight that. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. Sure. You should take pride in that. But then, I want to also ask you, because you are very religious as well. Do you consider yourself a Christian rapper, or so how does a Christian get into there? Because I know a lot of people try to identify that within that as well. So
sure.
Just on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I am religious and spiritual, and I grew up in the Christian faith. I wouldn't say that my music is particularly Christian, or I wouldn't call myself a Christian rapper. And yeah, I think there are, like, I guess, values you could say that are related, and just growing up with very strong women in my life in particular, that definitely has guided the way that I create music. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. So let's get to Soju Over Ice,
Let's
the
do
track
it.
that just got me. That was, although we couldn't have a summer, because of COVID. COVID ruined our year, ruined our summer. That would be the summer track I'd have been riding in my Palisade and just bumping, man. And I'm bumping it now. So my summer's right now because that's my summer track. I love it. It's a great track. Tell me how that all came together.
Absolutely. I recorded it in the winter. Or I wrote it on the East Coast when I was and when it was, I think it was just pure winter. And
okay. So this was last year?
I think January of this year. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the concept of the song mainly came to be because I was going to Korean restaurants with my friends, and like a lot of my housemates were Korean this year, and we're just like we can't even buy soju in Connecticut really, because liquor stores aren't actually able to license it because it's like a weird percent of alcohol. So but the only place you get it is at a Korean restaurant, and at restaurants, of course, every alcohol is more expensive. So soju at most restaurants, even in SF, is like $14. So I was just like, man, that's just like such a funny thing. Having gone to Korea and studied abroad the year before in 2019, and been getting it at a restaurant for $2 to $3.
Exactly.
And we're just like it was just a crazy, hilarious thing and difference, and it also represents Korean culture, I think, really rising and coming to world prominence with BTS.
Yeah.
And lots of also Korean American rappers really making it big. Like shout out to Jay Park, PH1, lots of them. And that was kind of like I'm getting like messages from the Korean app right now, actually.
Everybody's all hype. It's you.
But yeah, that was just kind of like the backing behind the song and the feeling behind the song. Just like so the song itself is just very playful and energetic and good vibes, but like there's an undercurrent message of very like this is crazy. Like Korean culture is taken over and I'm benefiting from it. And it's funny that how money and global power, soft power works. And I found the instrumental, and the song just came out pretty quick, I would say. And I knew that I wanted to include as much Korean as I could, Korean language in it as possible. And had a couple Korean friends help, like not like ghostwrite, but at least like fix at least what I was trying to say to make it make full sense in Korean. Because I actually did not grow up fully speaking Korean. So I grew up, I learned Korean in college. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's why it probably doesn't make sense to any of you fully fluent Koreans out there.
Well, I love the visuals. Let's talk about the video. I love the opening with your boys, and they kind of come through. Hey, man, we got this cat at the park, man. He got the drinks, man. So it's a fun video, and I love the way it was done. So shout out to your DP, your whole team that put that together. That was beautiful. So how did you visualize that? Was that the idea you had in mind?
For sure. So the song, so it's directed by Justin Guo.
Shout out to Justin Guo.
Shout out to Justin Guo, and he's also from the Bay, also from SF, and he went to Lowell High School. Many people know that school, and he was like, let's do like. He's like, I love this song of yours, and let's do a video for it. But like, he was kind of imagining more like a stop motion, where we just take a bunch of like really like pictures essentially, and then stream it, and then make them go together like that, and it would just kind of be more like a visualizer.
Okay.
And I think that energy was actually encapsulated in the actual final video, in terms of that, like a little bit of stuttering and a little bit of just the camera movement really kind of lends itself to be sort of like animation. So that when the VFX came in, they actually felt very natural.
Okay.
But I think the part that we started getting excited about and try to expand beyond is doing essentially a photo shoot, is that we wanted to include some story, and we wanted to and I told them that I was imagining like Santa Monica, like beach vibes too.
Yeah.
And skater culture. And then once I said that word, skater culture, he was like, wait, we need to take a step back and maybe make this like have the story kind of be tied together through the skaters.
Totally. So that was a great choice.
That was the breakthrough.
That was a great choice.
Yeah. And so that's how and we wanted to, in terms of creating my character, I think my character was like the one we're uncertain component. How to bring them from the park to me, the rapper, me, this soju guru, right? And so we kind of like were like, at first I was like a very Asian character. I was like wearing like a just like sandals, like on my Jesus vibe. But like we realized we didn't want it to be all stereotyped like that. We wanted it to be bright in colors to really catch people's eye. And so we landed on this kind of like more like mystical character that's just like a guru that just has also the soju with his friends. And that's kind of how the video came together conceptually.
So well done. Question: do you have a favorite? Do you like soju straight, or do you have a particular flavor you like? I'm a peach soju guy myself.
I'm kind of I'm not too picky. I really like soju, the original one, when you mix it with beer. So that's called somek.
Okay.
Soju and mekju. Mekju means beer in Korean.
Okay, so you classic cat.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite. But at the same time, like, you can't go wrong with flavored soju. Like, I mean, well, you can. You definitely can go wrong.
Yeah, you can.
But in terms of, I mean, I think green grape is a classic. I think grapefruit is always solid. Yeah. I think the ones that are just a little bit bitter are the ones that I like more. Like the ones that are like strawberry and like just weird fruits. Like it's just too sweet for me. But
okay, yeah, I'm gonna throw soju recommendations right under us right now, so they can go cop that when they after they download those tracks, they call their friends over and they just sit and listen to your album. They can throw them sojus back. And then just as we talk about it, man, that sounded good. Let me do
yeah.
Light it up and listen to my man Son of Paper right there.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get the soju sponsorship soon, right?
Hell, yes. You need that. Let's get my man Son of Paper a soju contract. Come on now. So that was a great, amazing hit that you just recently dropped. But I also, as I brought to you earlier, there's a couple of tracks that I peeped that you also dropped as well this year.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a couple of those? Because of You. That was a banger that I really liked vibing off of. Can you talk about Because of You?
Yeah, Because of You. We're actually maybe by the time that you release this, the video will be out. We're dropping it on the 10th, and I'll
have it by the 10th. All right,
perfect.
It'll be coincide. Okay.
Yeah. Because of You is I think that one's just like in terms of how it came together, that one was just a beautiful collaboration. Soju is just my vocals and having the work of the producer. But Because of You, I knew I wanted just something really a high energy verse, like a pretty fast, playful, and the chorus, when it came together, it was just kind of like a song you can really bob your head to. And just kind of be appreciative of yourself, be thankful for all those around you, all your loved ones, and just saying like it's all because of you, like thank you, appreciation song. And I think the energy was also surrounding like graduation, so just graduating and feeling like big weight off my shoulders, let me go focus on the next goal. That's kind of the energy there.
Love it. I can't wait to see this, the video, man. But the single, again, another track that I'm gonna be bumping in my ride. I'm gonna still go back to my cup that was filled with that soju over ice. In my cup, another track that I found. How did that come together?
Yeah, in my cup, I made it wrote it probably back in November, and then we did the final tracking in January. Okay. And that's a collaboration with Azu. and he's a dope producer that went to USC School of Sound Engineering and stuff. And that one I never got to meet the feature, the other feature on the verse, but you know, that's kind of how it is with music. Sometimes you get to meet them, sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And it has my chorus that I wrote in it, and it has my first verse. And I think the energy is just kind of like you're imagining that you're at a party, and everyone, you know, drinks different things, and to each their own. And so he's giving shout outs to Henny, and I'm like shouting out Soju. So it's a very like funny, very American experience, I guess.
I love it. So you have recently given me, like I said, ride tracks that I'm gonna be bumping in my Palisade, and some party tracks that as soon as we can party and actually get together with our friends and family, which I'm seriously missing. We're all missing that right now, but we won't do it until we're safe, until we have a cure, until there's a vaccine. What else that do you have coming up that you want to promote? Any albums that or singles as well towards the end of this year? What's the future for Son of Paper?
Yes. I have I'm hoping to do 2 tracks in November.
Okay.
Or rather a 3-track EP. Might include a spoken word that I just kind of was working on this morning. And it's the vibe is so different. It's like it's way more like in the cuffing season realm. Like R&B, like almost like the hook was straight up inspired by Burn by Usher. And that one has a really dope feature on it. And then the other song on it is called Comes With Time. And that song is like, it's kind of dark. It's kind of like very late night vibe. And just kind of like, it's just like wondering, like, is all this effort that I'm putting into music, is it gonna become something? Or is it just the thing that keeps me up at night, you know?
I feel that.
So, those kind of songs in that project, I haven't even told my fans about it yet, but exclusive. The EP is gonna be called Timeless.
Yeah.
So trying to create a world, you know, like really trying to build my own worlds is a big thing that I want to be able to get into in music, because I think those are my favorite projects. Are all like, you go there, you're transported into that space. Like 2014 Four Souls Drive, just or like any Nas album, really. That's the gold standard of where I'm trying to get.
Dope. I love it, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Nerds of Color, man, to you know, give me to bless me with the amazingness that is the Son of Paper, man. You are creating inspiring tracks and inspiring other young heads out here, because I'm an old head. I love that. As an old head, I love young guys like you doing your thing and creating positivity and doing great music that we can all vibe to, and being that representation too, as well as us as Asian Americans as well, to be seen in this light. It's beautiful, man. I can't wait to head out to San Francisco again, so I can hit up you and you can take me to some spots. Check out my man's YouTube, where he, you know, kind of gets some reviews too of some local spots. I love it, man. It's just beautiful music. It's a great positive vibe, and something we need right now, where a lot of us are depressed because of what 2020 has become. So thank you so much, man. Why don't you bless them with your socials, and as you say it, I'm gonna throw it up on the screen so they can follow you and keep up with you, my man.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. My all my tags are just at Son of Paper, SONOFPAPER, and I have a website, sonofpaper.com. But yeah, just search me up on whatever music platform that you use most, and send me some love. Send me a nice message. I love to get random messages from people I don't know. But yeah, I mean, just big shout out to all the big homies. Shout out to Jae Shin. We actually have a song together called Buffet Boys, and that
is that already out? Did I miss that?
That one was
oh shit! I got something to do right now after this.
Yeah. That one's tight. But yeah, I mean, just shout out to everyone that helped me get to where I am, because like, I mean, this is it was a long time coming, and a lot of support from everyone, really, to get to even be able to be who I am. So thanks for everyone.
I love it, man. Well, you have a fan in me. a cheerleader in me. I can't wait to see you rise and do what you do and do what you love, man. Because that's what it's all about, doing what you love. And that's amazing. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Thank you for coming on the Nerds of Color. I am Kuya P. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Show this brother some love. Head over to sonofpaper.com. Show that man love. And as always, the Nerds of Color, that's how we do. Babinka Boys, your boy Kuya P. Show Pow Show coming soon to the Nerds of Color. We out of here, y'all.
Yeah. Can you turn the music down like a lot? Yeah. Alright, right there is good. Early in the morning, gotta get my day started. And it's all because of you. And it's all because of you. Home for the evening, and I can't believe it. And it's all because of you. And it's all because of you.
Okay, yeah, it's all because of you. 100 more verses and 100 more hooks made the perfect tune. Make me wanna sing to you. Girl, you know you give me that juice that makes me smile, makes me wanna hustle for a while longer. Keep my bars coming out harder. Got the same plans, wanna go as farther. So I've been going overtime with me in the studio trying to get this right. Tunnel vision got us both in the shine. Lights so close, we don't need no signs. Like this new whip, I'll be